fuck with that shirt. I was gonna wear something X-Men too, but I'm like, fuck it. All right. Welcome to
Deebos. It was actually I slept last night.
Okay. Yeah, I had something good on when I did record. John, I had like this Naruto hoodie on and shit. I was trying to keep like a theme, like every recording. I'm like, all right, wear something like comic-ish and shit, but fuck it, Deebos gonna have to do this time. I mean,
you know what? We should be talking like on the video, right?
That's crazy.
We go back in this shit, bro.
All right. Welcome to Deebos World, discussions of the Multiverse. I'm your host, Deebo, and here we chop it up with the community's most interesting people. And today I got the one, the only, Odinson, the Allfather, whatever you want to call him, but my man David, what's happening? How you been?
I'm hanging in there, bro. Tired.
Yeah, man.
Always a grind.
Yeah, I was out of it yesterday. I posted had rolling yesterday, but I was dead to the world. I couldn't sleep. It was like, man, I didn't get shit done yesterday. But today I got up. I felt old because I went to sleep like 9 o'clock. I was like,
you felt old.
I'm like, man, like the whole day I couldn't sleep. Like after I got work and everything, I'm like, man, I can't sleep. I can't concentrate. I mean, and then 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I'm finally feeling tired. I'm fucking in the bed early as fuck. Like,
well, I felt stupid yesterday because when I came out, I was excited all day at work to come home to watch the Knicks game, and then I realized they didn't play.
Yeah, y'all looking
so
good.
I went down. I was like, I wasn't really in a bad mood. I don't like track my packages a lot of times. I just order them, and then when they come, they come. You know what
like
I mean?
Christmas.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I know they're coming, so you know there's no reason to sit there and be like, "Oh, where's my package?" And then my wife didn't tell me I got packages, so I came home and I was like super happy.
Like, oh shit, gifts here! Like
after my pull came, and I was like, yes, because it's been a while. Because now I had to extend my delivery dates because monetary reasons or whatever,
All right.
And then Christmas time, pretty much. It's Christmas time. You got 5 grandkids and 3 kids and 2 spouses. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
All right, tell the people where you from. Tell them where you from. Where you
originally from Brooklyn, and then I've been to Jersey probably most of my life.
Okay. It's not too far. I'm in Philly, so I mean, I know we tried to set up before, but I mean, one of these days we gotta get a link up and shit.
Yeah, I know. You know what? It would have been much easier before COVID because COVID really fucked a lot of things up and everything. Like, even work, people on and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's not like as simple anymore just to be like, okay, I'm gonna go out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just do something in a whole day. You know what I'm saying? You're tired. You go home. You're like, I want to stay home. I'm tired. Yeah, I'm in my pajamas. I got a pair of shorts on, no socks.
Hey,
but I have I fell asleep on. But I was like, you know what? You only see me just. I had to go to like the studio or something. I'd be like, oh, I got dressed. You know what I mean? This is great. I love this age. It's funny.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna jump right into it. Being one of the founders of Watchers, tell us how all that came about, how you got into debating and shit.
Well, I wasn't one of the actual founders of Watchers. Watchers was founded by Lucius, and I think a couple of other people that they haven't been around for so long that my brain really. Brandon Cooper, remember him and Lucius, and then I think somebody else. I think they were the original founders.
That's crazy. I didn't even know Brandon had a hand in that. That's crazy. I didn't you'd think I would know after all the time I've been involved with it. I didn't know he was like one of the founding members. I thought it was Lucius. Yeah. I thought it was like originally. I thought it was you, Lucius, and I originally thought it was Adam too, but I knew Adam as I've been in the community, I figured out he wasn't. Actually like a founder and shit. But yeah, Brandon, that's a surprise. I wouldn't thought that and shit.
Adam was actually a Watchers before me.
Oh, okay. So I'm learning something
new.
He
was already an admin established at Watchers.
So when I faced him, he probably was already. I don't even know what he was when I faced him, but I was a cocky young boy.
When you faced Adam, when Adam's when it got really, really booming, like when it was sustained as far as how popular and everybody liked debating across everywhere, it was like the thing, the big thing.
It was fun.
that was Adam's peak, but then, as all young adults go through, your life grows.
Yeah.
And you can't develop that much, you give that much time to something that you're enjoying at home, you know what I mean?
All right.
But then, that's kind of why Adam drifted away, you know what I mean? Kind of life priorities. Same thing with Ryu. Life priorities take people away.
A lot of people.
I don't know what's up with Marlon. but Cooper and Lucius and Adam are actually the three. You know who else was an admin? Alberto. Alberto was an admin there when I first got there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you know what? I do want to get Alberto right here. He's like the community's what would you call it? Would you like the knowledge guy? He's like, what's the dude from Dragon Ball? The all guy.
He definitely was the community knowledge guy. He definitely was. I mean, if there was like a challenge like Jeopardy,
that's him.
85 to 90, that's it.
That's him.
Nonstop.
I mean, he wouldn't even be nowhere around. It'd be like a typical match or like an open discussion. Then, boom, out of nowhere, he just come dropping all the facts. He's like, what? You're like,
yeah, and then you start getting into the dates of those.
Yeah, you're like, damn.
Okay,
like he just showed off now.
It was true back then. It was okay. You know, I worked with my man. He's cool as hell.
Yeah, I fuck with him. I know you just had like surgery not too long ago and shit. I know last time I talked to him.
Yeah, he's a monster collector too. Monster collector.
All right. The way how you feel the way the community is today? How do you feel about it?
I answered this the way I did last time. I don't really. You got to change the. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
All right. The way you remember it versus how it is now. Like, what do you see like the biggest difference?
Oh, the biggest difference is that people started not being able to take L's.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem that happened with the whole debating system is when you make something and you have players play in that. Let's call it. We're going to use the analogy of sports. Okay.
Right.
So when a player plays hard and he gets to do what he wants to do, and he finally goes to say the NBA or the NFL, he follows their rules and their guidelines and has zero say in what they do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once people started catering to the debaters as far as the way rules should be and stuff like that, or the way you want to, do your thing, then it started losing control, and that's when I think it started not being fun anymore.
Right.
Just because then there really literally was people like to throw the word around accountability. There is no accountability.
Right.
If you either would come and you should debate the way you're supposed to debate, and it gets judged the way it should be judged.
Right.
The way this group judges it, to say that way, because everybody kind of got their own thing going on. That shit got so advanced, I can't even look at a judgment. Okay. It's like an A, B, 2, 6, 7, 5. What are you talking about? You want to and why did you win? That's all I want to hear. You know what I mean?
It got crazy. I had to write that shit there.
Shout out to the judges, though, man. They put in that work when they read those debates, man.
Yeah, man. It was hard. I mean, I had to write that shit down, like the way, the structure, like, because, like you said, I can't remember all that shit. I had to fucking basically write myself a template. Like, all right, this is how I'm going to go in.
Oh.
And
you enjoyed doing it, right?
Yeah, because it's
you
like,
enjoyed it.
For the most part, it's like, all right, I know I'm not debating, but I'm looking at two characters. It's even better if I don't know either character because I'm learning about some new characters. And it's like watching a fight up close. You can just, you looking at all the details. I mean, you got a lot of people, they'll just say, debater A won because, I mean, that's their friend or they like their character. But, I mean, if you don't know the other character, you don't know if they win or not because, I mean, you just going off a bias. But when you actually read it as a judge, I mean, you getting all the nooks and crannies of what's happening. And a lot of people didn't like the fact that, okay, they say the popular person didn't win. Well, I read it. I know he didn't win. I mean, and for the fact, like he didn't say this. We know he can do this, but it's not posted, and I can't. I mean, that's the one thing people didn't take into consideration as a judge. Like, even though I know what they can do, I can't use it because it's not posted. And I was always taught you're going to use what's posted in the debate. Like, so I'm like, if you forgot it, I'm like, I can't give it to you. I mean,
but then you add into the twist of now the person who lost, who of course everybody won.
Yeah,
everybody won. You know what I mean? No matter who you are, you won.
Basically.
You know what I mean? So and then him having the ability to challenge a judgment. Or get the fuck out of here. Imagine like somebody getting knocked out by Tyson or Muhammad Ali.
You go to the referee like, hold on.
I'm challenging the KO judgment right there.
It'd be crazy.
That's crazy. Imagine James Harden doing one of his little fucking super flops, and the referee calling him for it, and he gets to challenge that call in the court, and he goes to the chamber and make this fucking go this way, and it turned into a nightmare, Deebo.
Yeah, it definitely did.
It turned into a nightmare. And that's when, and that to me was a big, big determining factor on why I started to hate debate a little bit, because it went from me enjoying it to me having to manage it to me having to deal with it. And I didn't want to deal with it.
Right.
That was Austin's job. That was that was Adam's job. That was Ben's job. The judge chamber. That wasn't my job. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to enjoy the comic books.
Right.
And I would promote everywhere because I was everywhere. You know what I mean? So I would promote you, your events, everything everywhere. I'll be the face. But I don't want nothing to do with that shit. You know what I mean?
Right. You think it could be restored to his glory days where we're just all fun again?
I think it could. I just think are people ready for change?
That's true.
That's the problem.
That's true.
Because the first thing will happen is you'll throw out a new format or something, and then you know what? I have a format in my brain for a long time. When I did a heat check in the beginning of the year about school wars, remember?
Yeah.
Getting a taste of what people were thinking. And
I was ready. I was all back in. I was like, yeah, fuck it. You remember I was asking.
I had people in my DMs. I had people in the comments and people asking, and I'm pretty sure Jordan, he's a proponent of that shit. He probably talked about it too in his interview. I guarantee he did. The oldest eye told me, guys. You know what I mean?
Court definitely gave it a big up and shit.
It was a heat check for me. I do that sometimes. Like, I'm planning on selling my World War Hulk collection.
I seen that post.
I heard the storyline was going on. I said it in the post. This is just a heat check to see what's going on.
Yeah, I seen that.
You know what I mean? Because I know what the value is on eBay, but I'd rather give it to somebody here. I can sell it to them cheaper and give it to somebody who loves them. You know what I mean? And eBay is people more flippers.
They flip it, try to get it low and sell it higher and shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'd rather give it because I'm not somebody that's going to put something out there for $10,000 and sit there for 10 months.
Hope for that one person.
The first, Better Ray Bill or your first Hercules.
Right.
Stuff like that. I would try to get maximum dollar, put it up there. First Carnage, maximum dollar, put it up there, let it sit for a little while until it sells. But the other shit, gore and all that shit's going to come and go. Right now it's worth a lot. But then tomorrow it's not going to be worth a lot after the movie comes out and it drops. And it's going to drop hundreds.
Right.
So I figured I'm not going to sell my Thors. So I said, all the extra shit that I have laying around when these movies come out, I'm just going to blast them out so I can buy my Holy Grail, which costs $12,000.
I mean, shit. The way you going, you'll get it and shit. I mean, you got everything else and shit.
I have a reprint of it. I have a reprint of it in the trade paperback. I have a reprint of it in a hardcover classic. I have a black and white reprint of it, essential, but I don't have the Holy Grail. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Out of all the characters that you came across, what drew you towards Thor? Like, what was it about him that made you say, "This is the guy I'm going to follow"?
The hammer.
The hammer.
You're a little dude. You see the superhero. Everybody else, you got Superman who looks like a big blue thing, the red cape with his underwears on the outside. You got Batman, which you don't really know how to take because he seems like he's going to be the Dark Knight detective, and it seems like he's going to be gritty, but then it's comedy and it's weird. And then you have Spider-Man, which I really never got into Spider-Man. I'm probably one of the few people who probably never collected any type of Spider-Man run whatsoever. Actually, I'm lying. I just lied. Sorry, guys, I just lied. I collected Superior Spider-Man. I have Superior Spider-Man's run.
I felt the same way about Spider-Man because of, like, growing up, he was just like everywhere. I'm like, all right. I looked the way, like I said, when we talked last time, I was a big mutant guy. I was a big, all right, you didn't have this explosive power. I wasn't really fucking with you. Like, you just like a human with some extra abilities. I'm like, I just looked at him and was like, all right, you got powers, but you're not, you don't, who wants to climb up a wall? Who wants, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, you wasn't really, so I didn't really take him serious, but as he went along and shit, the first, I think, run I think I collected was, this is when Miles already came out and shit. Miles was already a thing. It's the one when they started joining up the, what's it called? The, damn, I forget the name of the run and shit. But,
Event?
Yeah, it was,
Ultimatum?
What's the, is that the one where the alternate Miles, when the ultimate Miles came from he had made a deal with Kingpin and shit that came to come to the our universe and shit. Yeah, is that name is Ultimatum shit? I forget the name of the run, like where they started and shit.
Oh, you're gonna place with the Miles? That's probably my. You know what? I don't collect Miles. I just got his face smile. I think it's right here. Yeah, I just got his face smile.
Yeah, that joint is the ultimate, like, cause once that dropped, I was like, holy shit! It's like we know Miles as Miles, but this was like a whole different Miles. He was an adult, like he went through all that shit already. Like, it was a twist because he was a bad guy, like he was like the Kingpin's best friend and shit. And I just found it interesting. I'm like, you know what? Let me start collecting. I collect that and shit. But
yeah, Miles is a good character, but I just don't like the whole. Well, basically, you could by my collection alone, you could tell what I like reading. I like reading
like mythology type shit,
multiversal stuff, things that are above like
the regular plane. Shit. That's why you're the All-Father, like.
Like Thor is above the mortal plane, Thanos is above the mortal plane, Eternity, Doctor Strange, shit like that. Green Lantern. The only like planet-based character I really ever really collected was Batman, okay. And that actually happened because of the Batman Who Laughs. You know what I mean? Because then you start thinking, like you read Metal, and then you're like, holy shit, it goes this back, and then you have to get the Court of Owls, and then you got to get, all this stuff leads into everything. So I was like, fuck, I might as well get the whole one, New 52 to go with the Metal collection, And everything else is all power.
Yeah, I was always you gotta have some kind of explosive touch. Like, if you was like a human with some gear or something, I wasn't really fucking with you back then. But man, a lot of them characters grew on me and shit. So it was like it was a crazy turnaround the way I came about it. Speaking of
the hammer.
Speaking of Thor and shit, how many issues of Thor alone do you have? Like, how many would you say you have?
Over a little over 2,000, not 2,100. That's a little over 2,000.
That's crazy.
Now, it's different. The reason why, I collected him so hard, because I do like the character. To me, he's like the best superhero ever. Right. If you follow him like I do, you know what he really is, and he's gives up everything to risk everything to be in the mortal world to keep it safe. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? He's a god.
When his early days, I followed him like back when he had the little spell where he had to have a hammer in his hand. Like, if he didn't have it in his hand for a minute, he would. And then it just like I think when what's the other guy? Thunderstrike. I think when he came along and shit. Yeah. So when he came along, like, all right, I guess I gotta say like all right, when he came along, like, okay, another guy with a hammer. It's getting a little too complicated for me. I'm like, all right, I'm just going. I left it at that. But I love the full turnaround with like today's book and shit. Where like, what's the doctor name? The one his,
Donald Blake.
Yeah,
Donald Blake.
Yeah, I love the way they did that one. That was a fucking amazing one.
Yeah, he did. he actually was pretty consistent with everything as far as what Donald Blake pretty much was. You know, Donald Blake is basically Thor's human essence.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And that shit.
And the last time you seen Donald Blake was in Fractions run in the Mighty Thor, and he left. His head was the only thing left because Enchantress did some shit, and the only thing that left was his head.
Wow!
And it was sucked by what they call mares, which were these little demons that put you in the nightmare realm. Or usually they put you in a nightmare realm. That's usually what they do. But then they found out that they were speaking a different language. That's how they talk. It's not really attacking people. It's communicating. It was kind of weird shit. But anyway. So it ended with his head being with the mares and him going into a beautiful dream.
Okay.
And when Cates brung that world in, it was perfect because that was the world he wanted. He made his beautiful world. I thought he was continuing from that arc, which was great. I was like, okay, the dude's doing his homework. You know what I'm saying? But then when he started it, he said that it was a vision created by Odin.
Okay.
Which to me was, okay, either he didn't really understand the story or how it ended, or he's talking about Blake being what he is, you know, created by Odin. So I guess because Odin created Blake, right. Blake created these visions. That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah,
that's higher plane thinking you have to have.
That's the way it was done. Like, man, this is, I mean, in full circles, like, first I was shocked to see Donald Blake, because like you said, I haven't seen him in a long time. Like, I mean, I don't collect Thor, but I see him around and shit, and the whole Donald Blake thing was like,
Marvel tried to erase him at the first time anyway. Because after the first Ragnarok, the first death of Thor, let's say death. It's hard to explain. But the first time Thor's human essence died, human form died in comic books, was during the Onslaught saga.
Okay.
Right? And when Thor went with the Onslaught saga, and when he came back in Jurgen's run, which is right here, he came back and he had that other guy, you know, the other doctor guy. I erase him from my memory. You know what I mean? He became another guy. I forgot. I don't believe I can't remember his name. But anyway, him. We just call him. And they try to erase Thor and make that the new doctor.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Because every time Thor dies, he comes back. He's supposed to be resurrected. And if he is resurrected, he's going to be in a new form because his other form is dead. Okay. That's why he was, Siegfried back in the day. That was his, one of his first forms was Siegfried in the previous Ragnarok. You know what I mean? Another Ragnarok, he came back as a doctor with a limp.
With the limp.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I remember that.
Yeah, he did. He had a crutch. That seems to be the thing, the leg.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I guess giving them the little stick or anything, because it'd be weird walking around with anything else other than, like a walking stick. Like, so I guess they.
Yeah, right.
What are you carrying an umbrella for?
The modern Thor, they have an app.
Yeah, like.
You know what I mean? That'd be crazy. The Marvel copywriting patent pending. Don't understand.
How old would you say when you got your first issue?
My first issue of Thor I ever read, I was probably like 7. The first issue I ever bought for myself, I was probably about 9. Okay. I was a plumber's assistant for my dad. So I was 9 years old, making $250 a week.
I would say you better than me, because as a kid, I think anything taller dealing with, I'd have thought it'd been yucky. I wouldn't want to be around it at that time, but you better than me. So.
I had no choice. It was different. You were training to literally be a man to take care of your family.
I couldn't do what
I don't think a lot of kids go through that training. Some do. Right. I don't think a lot of kids get that. This is what gotta happen. Not after your video game, not after this. You know what I mean? This is what you gotta do.
I couldn't follow my dad's footsteps.
You got your ass whooped, but you ain't got nothing.
For real.
Nothing.
All right. Speaking
of, might as well.
Right. Sticking to the subject of Thor, how you feel about him portrayed in the MCU?
I didn't. I like the first Thor. I like the second Thor, even though nobody likes it for some reason. But then a lot of people like.
It grew on
me. A lot of people don't like that. Period. A lot of kids is when he first came in All Father Thwart's issues. You know, Malekith was the big villain created during that run of Beta Ray Bill's first appearance. It was Malekith. You know what I mean?
I actually like the second one better than the first one.
Oh, you do?
I like the second one. Yeah.
The first one was just it just hit me away because been waiting for so long to see him. I watched him in the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, like nine Hulk movies and shit.
Back in the day with the goat fur top, it made sense. That's but I wasn't happy. And then Avengers Assemble. I used to live on that shit. Avengers Assemble was great. He was great in that. You know what I'm saying? And then finally I seen the movie and I'm like, no fucking way. That's the first movie I ever seen with IMAX. All that IMAX 3D shit, I'd never seen movies like that. I'm traditional. I want to see film. I don't want to see that digital shit. It kills me. It hurts my eyes. It makes me start tearing. I can't do it.
All right.
So I loved it, man. It was great.
That's what's up.
And then Ragnarok actually sent me off a little bit because I think Ragnarok was good, but it became like he was literally like Thor was like channeling Seth Rogen. You know what I mean? It was the Master of the One.
I'll go back and say because I felt Ragnarok was more like comedy wise, like for him, like. Yeah. But I actually liked it because, like, I mean, it showed a different side of him, and the whole Hulk aspect was funny as shit to me. They like that little get together, that shit was funny. So it was like, okay, like it's not part two, like a series is part two, but I mean, as far as like it explained a lot and shit. Like if you're not like a casual follower, like what actually happened in the books where they fought, when Hulk and Thor fought and shit. But that whole get together, I thought was pretty funny. Like I thought they went like a more comedic route, but it's not a bad movie. I liked it. That's my second favorite one. Thor 1 was like you said, I wasn't really waiting for him that long, so it was like, okay, Thor, like. But the second one, I liked it better, and the third one, Ragnarok, I'm like, can't wait to see the fourth one. I want to see how they. That's the one that's gonna be with Jane, right? They're gonna introduce Jane in that one. So
that's gonna be Jane. All the people who cried like babies when she became a Thor.
I remember that. I'm like, we should have a Thor lady.
She's gonna blow up the spine, and then all of a sudden, Deebo, you're gonna see all these little dick riders. They're gonna be all over Jane and how good she is. When just fucking 10 years ago, they were hating on her like if it wasn't tomorrow.
That's crazy.
But it's all good. It's gonna be good. But a lot of people don't know about Ragnarok, the Thor movie. That there's a feat. There's a version of Thor that a lot of people talk about. The Rune King Thor. Right. First of all, can I say some things about Rune King Thor?
Spit.
Rune King Thor does not have the Odin Force. That's number one. Okay, everybody out there listening that you see this, stop saying the Odin Force because it aggravates me. Because Odin Force is literally on the journey with him, next to him, and said in the beginning of the arc that he was leaving Thor because he wasn't worthy.
Okay,
that's number one. All he had was the wisdom. Okay, the wisdom beyond Odin, and what that wisdom allowed him to do was master every aspect and form of the runes of Asgard, which are the magic.
Okay.
He knew every spell from the past done by anybody, including his grandmother, his grandfathers, Yrmir, the original creators, Bor, any spell at Asgard, past, future, and present of the runes. He had that power in one. Think about that.
That's pretty dope.
That's pretty OP. He did not have the Odin Force. Number two, Ragnarok the movie has the scene, the middle part, like the most powerful part of that movie is from the Rune King Thor arc, and I don't think a lot of people know that,
Okay.
In the Rune King Thor arc, the way he was able to, make the tree reboot, because again, he did not break the tree. He didn't do it. He had nothing to do with that. that was going to happen anyway. You know why it was going to happen? Because he let Surtur kill Asgard. When Surtur killed Asgard, the tree automatically reboots. That's their Ragnarok.
Okay.
That's what happened. Okay. So he allowed that to happen like he did in the Ring King Thor.
Okay.
He floated away and he sat there and he watched Asgard die. He watched Sif die. He stood above Asgard and it was burning, and his people, the Warriors 3, he watched them all die. He watched everybody die in Asgard as Rune King Thor. When he went after that, he teleported to the rooms by the tree.
Mm-hmm.
The tree was rebooting. Once the tree started rebooting, it folded itself in. That's what it does. It becomes a seed again.
Okay, and then
he cut a string to stop the gates from doing anything to that.
That's crazy.
That's what Rune King Thor did.
Every
time I see people use that as a feat, I want to bash my brains against the wall because it's so fucking beautiful. Because what is the number one thing in Thor besides Midgard? Asgard. Yeah. Protector of Asgard. You know, he takes Asgard very serious.
And to watch it burn and shit is crazy.
And to sit here and see him and watching him, emotionless. He was that powerful. He was emotionless. Watching his home place get destroyed and looking, and then as he's watching, they show a picture of him watching, and then they show a panel down here of Sif being killed, and then they show him, and then they show Volstagg being killed. It's like,
show him, and
what a story. But then you got these idiots who say that is something that's more than what it is, No, it's a beautiful story. It's not a feat.
Y'all heard it here first from the real one. Y'all heard it here first.
I'm serious, yo. I don't want to push my views on anybody.
Right.
But you just gotta read. It's beyond comprehension. You guys hear me say that all the time. It's beyond comprehension. You can't read. I was talking to this kid in this other group today, just this morning, said, I can't read comics from back in the days because they're unrelatable.
What? And
I put down, how are you relatable to a god?
You're not supposed to be relate.
You don't relate to Thor now. He's a king living in Asgard. How the fuck are you relating to this guy? You know what I mean? You get internet for an hour a day, and you're gonna say you're relating to a god? You're not gonna be relatable. You know what you're talking about.
You miss so much material because it's like I said, it's all there, and they just, they're not comprehending.
I said relatable. See why reality TV. Read Spider-Man comic books. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man's a more relatable character. You know what I mean?
He's a regular guy. Everything guy.
You punish him.
Oh.
That's a relatable character.
For a lot of people, yeah, I would say a lot of people.
I find what he does, no, but as far as him sitting there in the park one day having a picnic and watching his family die.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And you hear about that all the time. That's relatable, It's like, you can't say, it's relatable that my uncle, the fucking snake with the big, my nephew, the snake that covered the earth, tried to kill me yesterday. No, you can't relate to that.
Yeah, for real. Facts. All right. In the alternate universe, Ultimate David, what character would you be following? Thor is not an option.
Orion.
Oh, okay. The DC guy? The one from...
Yeah, Orion. It'll probably be a new god. Or Hercules. Probably Hercules, because Hercules is what got me liking Thor anyway.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I seen Hercules on the cover, and that's what made me pick up actually my first comic book ever.
Okay.
Actually, I still got 2 books sealed from back in the day. There's I don't even know where they are. They're Icon. And
DC guy? Icon?
Icon's first.
Okay.
Yeah, Icon, and the other one was Blood Syndicate.
Okay, yeah. A lot of people they think they were like, he was like, I'd probably say like the closest resemblance to Superman, like out of all the other ones, like Sentry and other, like his story resembles Superman. Like even like his background, his origin story, like come from a different planet and all that shit, like resembles Superman. But I'm glad they brought him back out and shit because he had started getting a little run for a little while, and a lot of people forgot about him and shit. But Yeah, Icon was like, he was the shit.
Like, actually, yeah, it's right here. See, look.
Okay, yeah.
It's still in the plastic.
He's gonna open it in here.
This is first. Well, this is first. And then I like Blood Syndicate because Blood Syndicate was like the hood dudes.
Yeah, like
they were like the when I was living in Brooklyn and you like always dreamed like, oh, I'm gonna get superpowers.
That was
this is what happened with these dudes. Yeah, they were like, holy shit, I got powers. I gotta do this.
All right, we'll pick up where we left off at. Your whole time in the community, what would you say your most memorable moment is? Like, what's a memorable moment from the community that stands out to you?
Memorable moment in the community. It could be anything, right? It don't have to necessarily be part of it.
Yeah.
What kept me glued to the community the way I did is when I first got sick.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
That's all I had. You know, I was by myself most of the day. My wife, had to take care of things, and all I had was them, and the reciprocation I got back from them created in my mind. This is my family. You know what I'm saying? And right. It kept me around. And it's gonna keep me around. There's really nothing else much I do besides go to work.
Yeah, shit. We was concerned about you. Like, shit, you a lot of people rock and shit. A lot of people shoulder cry on and shit. Not so far, like, so not so much crying. It was like so much, and then that was probably the peak of watchers at that time. Actually, when I was out and I had really nothing else really much to do. And then it was cool, and then I had to go back to life, you know what I'm saying, eventually, because being old school, a fucked up arm and they're going to put me down, you know what I mean? I'm still grind. Get the robot test in, you'll be back up.
And then I wound up going into the hospital again, and I went into a coma.
Oh, shit.
I was in a coma for 2 days. A diabetic coma that time.
Oh, shit.
And again, all I had was, the online. And at that time is when I said, you know what? It's not even debates anymore. And then when it helped when Austin left, and then I was like, you know what? I have nobody doing the debates because I wasn't doing them. I said it from the door. I always said it. I wasn't doing them.
That was a huge moment when Austin left. That was like, because he's like,
yeah. Because then after that, I was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do with it then, because I'm not gonna run these debates. People were saying, I'm not gonna name drop, but people were saying they were willing to step in and do it, but the people weren't doing their work. People had ideas. People had this. Everybody wanted to do something, but nobody was doing it. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go around. I left Asgard. Pretty much, you could say Watchers is like my Asgard. I left Asgard. I started journeying to all the other realms. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I watched Watchers get quiet. But that, in my brain, that was my design. I designed that to happen. I designed for anybody out in the community to know me, not from debating, but as comics.
Right.
And then when they associate me with Watchers and they go to Watchers, it's about comics. It's about comic characters. It's about anime characters. It's about the love of them. It's not about the fighting of them.
I would say you succeeded in that part because everybody I talk to that talks about Watchers now say it's just that. They like it's more so the love of the comics, like more so like they know we got away from the debating aspect. They know that what we trying to like push over there as far as just going back to the root of it, just talking about comics and characters and shit. Like, so
that was what got me onto it. When I was looking at shit on Facebook, universes collide. It sounded great because I have most of the crossovers between the JLA, Thor and DC. Of course, I have those crossovers automatically. You know what I mean? But I thought universes collide. That sounds cool. I go in there and everybody's arguing about who's faster this and faster that.
Hold on now.
And it sucked because at the time I had my collection in storage.
Oh shit!
Because that's when my daughter was still home. You know what I mean? I had grandkids running around. It was a fucking nightmare. And then when she finally moved, you know what I mean? I love my kids.
Jackpot.
But when she finally, you know what I'm saying? After she moved, like I started packing my shit in the room. I started picking my shit up. I was like, I'm taking 3 personal days off. I want to go to. I need them to breathe. Yay! I started breathing. I was so happy. And then I just started going through them, and I was like, holy shit. But back then, I didn't have that. Back then, it was just me saying, "Oh, I know what I'm talking about." Y'all don't know nothing.
Has she been back since in the room?
You're right. You collect comics. Show me your collection. I'm like, fuck. I can't. How am I gonna show you my collection? I can't show you. You're right. Everybody says they're in storage. So say, all right, nigga. I'll see you in a couple. I'll see you in a couple.
Has she? As your daughter came back and seen the room. She came back and tried to go to her old room and ran into this, and she checked it out.
Oh no! This was a battle between me and Freya, because Freya swore this was going to be a grandkid.
Oh shit!
I was like, hell no! Hell no!
I called Dib first.
Shit. I wasn't happy.
Keep the door locked.
Hell no! Imagine having a whole comic book collection that it's yours, but you just store it away, and as you buy them and you get small boxes, you got to store more away. And
that's where I'm at now, man. I can't wait till I move. I'm gonna have a space. I'm gonna try to have a space like that. But yeah, mine's in storage. I'm like, and every time I get new stuff, I'm like, you're gonna be joining the storage gang soon, like man, like.
And that pisses you off, and then when you go to storage, you look at shit, you're like, fuck,
you really can't really go through it. Like.
She wasn't letting me put my shit. Like I could have cut my dining room in half and been like, okay,
all right, you got to
peel this part off. But you know what? She's the queen, so she decides.
Right now, has your daughter been back?
She didn't decide this.
Has your daughter been back to see the room?
This was me putting on my fucking gavel. On the floor. No.
Has your daughter been back and seen the room since? Like, hey, let me check my old room out.
Yeah. My grandkids know not to come in here.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Because I also have toys. Well, I also have toys.
Oh, that's a magnet.
Yeah, so when they come in here, they know, my daughter JJ, she started getting into collecting comics. And then when the COVID happened, we kind of didn't see each other often personally.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because she used to read comics with me in the room and stuff like that. She has her own little short box that she colored pink. You know what I mean? It stands out like a motherfucker, but, it is what it is. It's my baby's comics, And she got comics that people dreamed they had, like First Appearance of Firestone and stuff like that.
Okay.
But,
starting off right.
Yeah, so she does, the babies, the young ones, anybody 5 years old and younger.
Restricted.
Knows. They don't, but they know. Like, literally, I can leave my Deebo. I ain't lying to you, because they know. I don't even care if you call Dyfus or two shits, you know what I mean? I'm too old for that shit.
I'm bringing the hammer down, literally. Like.
I leave the door open, bro, and they'll literally stand by the door like this.
Trying peeking at the toys, like.
And then they come in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Even my wife, to a degree, is trained. I know she's gonna watch this and say, "Fuck talking about." But if I'm thirsty and I'm in here reading, she'll just randomly just bring me something to drink. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She knows not to bring it in a cup. She knows to bring it in I keep a little 20-ounce Mountain Dew bottle, so she puts my drink in there so I can have a cap.
Yeah, nothing no spill it. Nothing no spill.
Yeah, I'm like. And she would bring me that randomly, So everybody pretty much knows my room. When there's get-togethers in my house, I have a padlock. I lock my shit up.
Nice.
And but other than that, it's actually free fall. Anybody in my home can actually just walk into my room. To tell you the truth, you know what I mean. But it's really only me and my wife, my son, and like my adopted son, I call him my son's best friend. Them two are pretty much, secure in movements in their life. They work,
Okay.
They're into their music. They're doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem with them, and he's going on 21.
So he knows.
So you know what, he's out there. He's not. If he's home here, I didn't do a good job. No. You know what I'm saying? If he's sitting here playing video games all day, I didn't do a good job. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's on his own thing. So it's really just me and my wife. You know what I mean? And comics.
Okay.
And I was actually thinking when he finally gets his ass out of here.
Oh shit.
I was actually thinking about just getting rid of everything and just getting a smaller spot for me and my wife. Maybe a 2-bedroom apartment instead of being in a fucking house. You know what I mean? And a 2-bedroom apartment, so I don't have to worry about the little things like the hot water heaters or
shit like that.
I just want to go to work, smoke a bone when I come home.
And read the
you know what I mean?
And read the books.
Put myself in another work. Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's been my only consistent thing since my childhood going forward. You got to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like if I go through my life from my brain, before my wife, before my kids, before high school, before middle school, before you know what I mean, IS schools and all that shit they call it nowadays. It was comics.
Right. That brings me to my next point. You think comics are in danger of becoming a lost art with the rise of digital comics and shit? You think they're gonna be replaced one day?
You know what? I would say floppies would probably be more danger than anything. I think comics will always go on. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It'll just be digital. You just won't have the floppy. I won't be able to say, go into my room and go, hey, this is the new FF. You know what I mean? I was reading this, by the way. This is a great story. If anybody ever read it, the FF, they fight a witch.
Okay.
Pretty crazy.
That cover looked dope. The black and white shit.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I was like, cause I'm reading horror comics this month, so I was like, I went to my FF collection and get some horror comics out. But that's the only thing that's going to be the difference. The collectors like me will pretty get lost. Like I'm predicting if I survive another episode in the fucking hospital again, if in maybe 10 years from now, I might not be able to buy floppies anymore. My Thor run might be in trade paperbacks.
That's crazy.
It might be, I might have to wait for an omnibus or, something like that. But, I think it's going to make them probably more valuable to a future generation, maybe 20 years from now, 25 years from now. Your dollar bin comic book could be literally
thousands,
worth, hundreds and thousands, just because as paper goes,
right?
So's the people that are going to want to keep it.
Facts.
Like this, like my great grandkids, are they going to really want to store
thousands of books when they could just have one
disc? Comic books? No, to them this is paper. This is nothing to them. So a lot of comic collections, unless they're they're going to be destroyed.
Right.
So those little books like Robin 3000 that everybody has in their collection, the trade paperback, that comic that you can find, or like the Hunts of Prey Doomsday books, those are $1 each anywhere you go. You know what I mean?
Big bucks in the future.
Yeah, because they won't be around as much. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
I'm actually hoping that if I pass first, God forbid I pass first. I want this to be, I got specific instructions to my boy, not my girls, because girls are catty, and they'll be too busy fighting about my shit. You know what I mean? So I gave I really did. I gave specifics to DJ. I don't care what happens to the whole collection, but the Thors get sold as a set, and the money goes to your mother. That's your mother's retirement, on top of my pension, on top of her Social Security.
Right.
If I can give her a couple of $100,000 for my Thor collection in the future, what it will be worth. I mean, you got to think about it. I don't have a run. I don't just have like Thor comic runs. I have appearances. It's appearances in all the comics.
Man, that's crazy. That's a collection for years. That's a real collection.
It's gonna be like this week alone. I told myself, okay, I'm really saving hard to get my whole week, really hard. I'm missing so many comic books I need and I want that coming out but I have to stay disciplined.
You focus on the goal.
I'm up to the point where I have to spend that much money to finish off what I'm trying to finish off. You know what I'm saying? I finished all those little $3 books, $5 books, $100 books. Shit. So, what was I saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, you about the omnibus. You were saving up for the Holy Grail.
Oh no, I'm saving up for my Holy Grail. Period.
Yeah.
But no, I was talking about. I'm sorry, I lose track.
Yeah. You was talking about as far as that and the specific instructions for your son about the Thor collection.
Oh, for my son, yeah, he would sell my Thor collection complete together.
I mean,
as one piece.
You wouldn't have it any other way because that's such an extensive collection. Like to have it all in one piece. A Thor collector would kill for that. Like shit.
Because you can pick it apart and you can make a lot of money selling single books.
But
like a motherfucker.
But like you said, like the whole everything, appearances, runs, everything under that stone.
Yeah.
That's a collection. That's a collection. That's not no. It would be worth more.
That's why I said I'm a Thor collector. It's like him in Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, right? Like, why would I sell that? Because Venom's in it.
Dude,
so what?
It's still Thor.
I don't even care. I don't care that Venom's in it. You don't understand? I don't care that Venom's in it. I care that after Spider-Man got his shit, I think Thor passed by him or something. That's what I care about. That's what I care about. I got that Spawn comic. I bought that Spawn comic specifically because Thor's hand is hanging out of the cage. You know what I'm saying?
That's dedication.
It gets that deep. You know what I'm saying? That's how deep it gets.
That's his arm. I'm getting it.
I got his arm. I got to get that shit. So this week, I was telling you how I slowed down my pulls.
Yeah.
So basically, my pull from Thor and Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
that's it. Those are my guarantee. I'll get a book here and there that I want, that I need. You know what I mean? But Thor and Fantastic Four. So I was like, okay, cool. But Marvel was on some shit. So I got the Thor book, right? And then he got 4 appearances in other comics.
Oh shit. It's like they know you out there. They're like, look, we know. We got to put Thor in there.
And then Strange Academy is another one I collect. I'm sorry. That's essential because Strange Academy is Asgardians in there. There's 2 Asgardians and there's also a Cross Giant. You know? And so I'm like, damn. So I was like, okay, let me get my pull. I get my fucking pull, and there's a stack of Thor comics. And I'm like, what happened? They're all gone. And I'm like, nah, really? This is bullshit.
I'm trying to say.
Damn. And then I was like, you know what? And I put myself in a hat of starting to buy DC God books.
Okay.
And the DC God books you buy is Shazam and Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Darkseid, of course, whatever. But as far as ongoing, you buy Shazam, Wonder Woman, and then you got Mr. Miracle, the new god.
Okay.
Well, he's not a new god, but he deals with the new gods. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, so I get my Wonder Woman, my DC God book, which is very rare. It's usually like only 1, maybe 2 to max. Fucking Wonder Woman. You got Nubia, you got fucking Wonder Girl, you got Diana Special, you got a regular book, you got Black and White. I'm stacked like this. I'm collecting 2 characters.
Then what happened? You came in for 2 books. Like, yeah, shit happened.
I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? Then I find out this comes out, and I'm like, I got to get him because I have him complete. I can't
not have the 1 book.
Hell yeah. And then my wife was like, oh, I thought you were doing this week. I said, no, I'm not doing this. Shit came up. I got to put overtime tomorrow. Overtime tomorrow.
That's crazy. All right. Who do you think the community's biggest troll is, and do you think trolling can be good or bad? Lose you? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I was saying, who do you think the community's biggest troll is, and do you think trolling can be good or bad for the community?
Trolling could be good. That's what we used to do back in the day. We used to troll each other before debates. We used to make it seem like it was a wrestling thing. We used to go out there and troll each other on polls, but we didn't attack each other.
Yeah, it was cool back then. It was.
No, it was. We knew what was going on. It was just chilling. But you know what? I personally, the way I see it in my brain, and it's not to segregate people, but it seems to be the people that grew up in the hood know what that is.
Yeah, because that's what we did. That's what we did. Like we cracked on each other.
We knew when we were talking shit to each other on a post. It was like we were just talking shit. You're a boy. We're talking shit. But people that are not used to that, maybe from other countries or other communities,
they take offense
stuff
to
like
it.
that. They don't understand that, and they take it to heart, or they start fighting, or they start screaming, or they start getting vicious, or whatever. So trolling is actually, it could be fun and it could be good. That's how we built debating.
Right.
Without that, I don't think, I don't think it really gets as big as it would have been. Right. But then the question, yes, I think trolling could be good. And I think the biggest troll in the community right now is Rel, of course. But Rel's not, Rel's that dude that'll fuck with you, but he actually knows what he's doing. Right. He knows what he's read. He read. He got his knowledge.
Fact. That was my next point. That was my next point about you think they have any knowledge. But yeah, Rel, like you said, Rel's like one of the biggest ones. But like you said, he's very knowledgeable. Like he'll lead you in one way and then bust you in the head with straight facts, and then you be like, then they slowly realize, like, okay, this isn't a regular troll post. This is, it's based on facts, but the way he presented, like, it'll fuck with you because he's trolling, but when he get down to it, like, okay, he really knows what the fuck he's talking about. So that's what make it fun for him.
Well, that's what gravitated me towards him, because I seen that. Okay, sometimes he's making a post that he's bored as hell at home. He's just sitting there like, I'm bored as hell. Boo, 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 boo,
Let me get him all riled up.
Most of his posts are actually battles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like little battles. He posts battles in mad groups. Because it pops up on your thing.
Yeah, I'm going to say, it pops up on my shit.
The thing goes is he posted them when he's posting them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes when you want to have entertainment, he tries to make entertainment. Now, how you take it is how you take it. But that's going to be, again, that's going to be on you. That's some fun shit that we do,
Yeah, I love it. I just go there just because I know people going to get their panties in a bunch. I'm like, but then you always know, like, it's those certain people, like, oh, here they come. And then they just, they take it to heart because they start trying to debate and start talking trash and shit. You're like, oh, he got y'all hook, line, and sinker again. Like, y'all never get tired of this. Like, y'all know what's happening, but y'all still fall for it. Like,
well, you know what? I also understood I understood what he was doing also. Just for the fact is, being watchers, being in watchers, people act differently in watchers than they do everywhere else.
It goes back
I don't know if everybody understands that or sees an apparentness. And I don't think it's because they're scared. I just think it's because they know if they're there to talk.
I about to say it goes back to that thing that you wanted to happen, like how you said about the room. Like, I think they're trained. They know, like, okay, this is what Watcher is. Like, we know they, like, as far as like our admin group, like, we really crack down on that shit like that. Like, they know we here strictly for, the good talk and shit like that. They know we're not here to act a fool. So it's like they already got that mindset.
I ain't dealing with your DM. You ain't coming to me saying, "Oh, this." You know the rule. That's the way it works. But I never had a problem with, say, like, Rel in my group, or I had problems with the, Amin been around since he was a kid. Also, that's another one like Jordan.
I'm trying to get him on too and shit. He agreed, but we ain't set up a date enough like that. I wanted to knock off the ones I already set up first and shit, but I'm gonna get him on here.
But he was another one that was a kid. He was around. He was a bad troll at one point. He was pretty bad. He was but again, he just bugs me out because he again, I know he knows comics. He talks comics. I heard him from back in the day. You know what I mean? I think he just finds it maybe he don't like it anymore. He just, again, for fun.
Right.
You sit me on Sunday watching football. I bet you there's an I mean post tomorrow. Right, at 2 o'clock, and one group in the community is going to be an I mean post.
You like, oh shit, here you go.
All right. So far, we got talking about school wars, and we got Odin Diet talking about a mean tomorrow during football.
All right. What's your stance on respect threads? And you think they help debaters more or it hinders them?
I love respect threads.
Yeah, me too.
When I was debating, I loved respect threads.
I never stopped using them. Shit.
You made?
Yeah, I was like, I made a shit ton of them, but it's like they're helpful if you know actual context. Like if you're just going
exactly.
If you don't know the context, you could easily be fooled by the way people word something. Like you may be using the feet where it looks good right now, but do you know what it took for him to set that up, or what's about to happen next? Like, oh yeah, he's about to blow up the earth, but do you know he doesn't actually blow it up? He get like shit like that. Like if you don't know the context, you could be. I mean, and at one time, it was flooded like that. A lot of people were using them wrong, and they gave respect threads a bad name and shit. I'm like,
so yeah, I love respect threads for that exact reason. When I didn't have access to my books readily, the respect threads were perfect. They were great because I would be able to go and just get the exact feed. But when I was getting the feed, like you said, the important part is you have to know what the feed's about. You have to know. A lot of respect threads, a lot of them are out of context.
Yeah,
like yes, he did that. You know what I mean? No shit, he did it. It's in paper that he did it. But it took a little while for that to happen. It was a strategy.
It took more than one person. It wasn't just him. Like it wasn't just him. Like he had help. Like he said, it wasn't just him. Like you don't know.
Well, my favorite thing is the Hal Jordan one, where he's beating Krypto.
Oh, the one where he's well, I guess we're resetting the universe.
He's one shot like Guardian amped by everything, whatever crap. Well, no, if you read the arc, you would see that there was a mad fight going on between that animal and a bunch of Green Lanterns, and Hal Jordan did the killing blow.
Yeah,
but they're making it seem like he was.
It was just him.
No, he wasn't. Green Lantern was powerful enough. He did the killing blow, but he was chose to do the killing blow. Right. You know, telling me John Stewart couldn't have done that. You know what I mean? You're telling me Carl Reiner didn't have to do that? No.
Right.
Stop. It's Hal Jordan. Of course he's going to do the killing blow.
All right.
That's so stupid. We got a team of Superman. You think Superman's going to do the win, right? Superman's the winner.
For real, like, yeah.
That makes no sense, right?
Facts. Anytime during your time in the community, did you think it was like literally over for like not coming back, shit like that? Was it a time where you thought?
I didn't want to come back?
Did you thought the community was done for? Like it's not going to recover from like what's happening?
No. I mean, maybe debating itself.
Okay.
Might be done for, not the colonies, not the many realms.
Oh, he's opening it.
Realms. Yeah, I'm opening it. I got the Fortnite Batman Who Laughs. And you know what? I have it in my hand, and I'm going to open it to read it. Holy shit, he's crazy.
You got breaking news on the podcast.
Blah, 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 blah.
Wait till they see it.
And then I put it in this paper of plastic.
The real one with the back in it. Yeah, that one to save it shit.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it because if I have it in my hand physically, I ain't going to read that shit on a screen.
Right, okay.
All right. Way in hell.
This the
I just got to see him. I just got to see where he is. You watch him not show up. Oh, clickbait. Oh,
there you go.
Oh, I'm so happy. I miss him, bro.
I gotta finish that running shit. I'm so far behind. I gotta finish that running shit. And I know you got me into it, but you told me to start with metal. I'm like, I ain't even start metal yet. I'm like, I just want to get through this. Like, you add more to my plate. Like,
runs are too long, man. Runs are too long. That's what I do. Like, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't read Iron Batman. I haven't read. I read the first issue of Wonder Girl.
Okay.
I haven't read the last 2 issues of Thor.
I'm like probably I'm so far behind. I'm probably like 2 or 3 books, like in each book that I'm behind. Like I didn't even watch my movies yet. I'm supposed to be watching Shang-Chi tonight, but
I was thinking about bootlegging Eternals, but
I want to see that too.
I don't want to wait until January.
Yeah, me neither. Like that's
they come out like November I think 6th or something. Shang-Chi is going to be on Disney Plus.
I'm like, but yeah, I'm just one of these weekends I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna just sit back and you know what? I'm not doing shit. I'm gonna read all my books. I'm gonna watch all my movies. But
you need that. Yeah, you need that. You need that free time as a guy. You need to get away from the world, man.
Like, well, for now is this podcast. That's my getaway and shit. I lock myself in this room. I turn my phone down.
Hey, this is fun. I could do this for hours. I can do this if you want to interview somebody with me together. Somebody else.
We can make a future episode like that.
I can do this, bro. This is my shit.
I'll keep it in mind. Shit, I got a whole lot of people a lot of people like that wanted to come on and shit. But I told them, let me finish the people that I booked already, and we'll go for it. But it's definitely a special.
Yeah, we'll talk away from this camera. Just cut.
I'm like, all right, let's move on to the last part of the podcast where I like to call where do you stand in the multiverse? I'll give you a choice between 2 choices, and you just give me which one you prefer. All right.
Okay, I guess this is the Marvel part, right?
Yeah, we got Marvel or DC. Which one?
Marvel. Thor's in it.
I would say I already knew the answer to that and shit. Like anybody would know.
If it's Thor was DC, you know it'll be DC. I hope people realize it. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
But they all right, comics or manga?
I prefer comics. I like the larger format and I like the color. I know manga got some color, but I like comics. And that's it. I mean, manga to me is comics also. I just don't like the format. I think the format is too hard. I don't like to read it. Stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
But I have Akira. I'm trying to finish off the collection of Akira, and I have Dragon Ball Super.
That's what got me into manga. Like I want to say comic. That's what got me into like anime and shit. Like growing up when Akira came out, I was like, what? It was. You know what? It wasn't even the
Akira omnibuses.
Oh, really?
Thick ass Akira omnibuses in the garage sale a couple of weeks ago, and I got them for $1 each.
Woo!
They're beautiful, but it's issue 5 and 6.
You can't beat the price. Now you gotta go back and get the other ones.
Yeah, I gotta go on the hunt for the next parts of it. It ended great. It ended. Wow, he was in space fighting meteor. That was nice.
It wasn't even the action and shit that got me into it. It was the fucking. It was kind of this motorcycle. I'm like, that shit looks fucking dope. Let me watch this show. Let me watch it. And I'm like, oh man.
Like you're chilling with your boys. Oh shit, this is happening.
I'm like, all right. Who's smarter, Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark?
Who's smarter, Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark? As far as what? Overall IQ or?
Yeah,
that's a hard question.
I'm making a 2-part question for like overall IQ and prep time. I know a lot.
In overall IQ, I give it to Bruce Wayne because the reason why people say like why doesn't he make an armor or he does this for armor? It's not his character to do that. He can do it if he wants. He can make armor. He has tech. A lot of his tech is made by other people.
Right.
But it doesn't stop him from knowing it, using it, and being able to, fix it and make it better. You know what I'm saying? Which is a big thing also when you're smart. You know what I mean?
Right.
To be able to understand somebody else's tech and improve on it. That's pretty big. You know what I'm saying? But Tony Stark to me is more fights bigger threats. Okay. Like right now he's fighting Korvac. So he's got an armor that he can.
That's crazy. I just seen this article about that. He supposed to have some new kind of armor or some shit that he got. Like,
yeah, because Korvac's power is the power of Galactus' ship. I don't know if I haven't read that arc.
He got something like that. But I know he got power cosmic. Actually, it was just something where I know something happened with Silver Surfer.
That's his original origin. It's in the Thor comic.
I remember something just happened with Silver Surfer where he fought an old hero and shit and took his power and he became like golden or some shit like that. I ain't really like read the whole book, but just that little part of the article, and I'm like, okay, Golden Surfer, like he took the power like the older hero, and it was like almost like a kind of fight. Like he was trying to take Silver Surfer's powers, but Silver Surfer was like, I forget his name and shit.
I mean, what comic? What comic?
This was man, it's
new comic?
Huh?
A new comic?
This was it came out not too long ago, probably like a few weeks ago. It was I forgot the book of it, but I know it included Silver Surfer in an older hero and shit, and it had Doctor Strange. Isn't it Doctor Strange book? I know Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I know it's a Defenders.
Yeah, the Defender book. Yeah, the Defender book.
Galactus' mom.
Yeah, I'm like, and Silver Surfer became
Galactus' mom. He was about to bang Galactus' mom.
I'm like, a lot of them books I see, it comes up in my news feed. Like, I'm like, oh shit, what the hell? And I go look for it and shit. I know I just seen something about Superman where I don't know if they're gonna rewrite like the origin of kryptonite, but it was some shit where like they used some kind of white kryptonite, and it was just a whole bunch of shit like where like it wasn't. I forgot how they explained it, but he's gonna go like dig into like it was some shit. I know I had made a post.
They have a book.
Yeah, it's a book.
They have a book in February, January. Yeah, January. It's a limited series coming out. I think it might be called The World of Krypton. That's probably maybe what you're talking about.
I know I made a post in Guardians. I know they more DC and shit. They asked about the kryptonite, but I don't think nobody like posted on it and shit. But yeah, a lot of that shit just pops up in my news feed. I don't really like read it all and shit. I just skim through it and see what they're talking about. But I remember seeing that Iron Man shit about him having new armor. So I'm like, when you bring it up, it clicked in my head and shit. All right, Superman or Blue Marvel, as far as who is a better character?
Better character?
Yeah.
Superman.
Okay. See, Superman. It was like he was never really.
I just think this Blue Marvel is just not these. I mean, if to be honest, if he wasn't black, he would be nothing.
You think? I think a lot of people I fought with him, but a lot of I don't think he's. I don't know. I think his popularity caught on like that. Like he's a good character, but like he's nowhere as popular like how people portray him.
That's what I'm saying. He's cool. But he's not Black Panther.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's cool, but I think I'm telling you, I'm being straight up honest with you. If he was like any other race character, right, his popularity you wouldn't
even lower.
Yeah, you would.
Because he got, like you said, he got some crazy ass powers, but I mean, some powerful ass power. But like I said, the popularity and shit like that is not behind it. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, because he's liked. You know what I mean? He's definitely liked. But he can't sustain his own title. So
yeah,
that tells you, But Superman, though, regardless of what people think of him, regardless of what I think of him, he's been around for that long for a reason. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It is what it is. I used to tell my son, when I was growing up, how I used to, fucking like Ivan Koloff and, and then what I'm saying, and I said, you could not like somebody, but if you look back on it, you're like, holy shit! And
you respect
my son's generation. My son's generation is the John Cena generation.
Oh man, yeah.
And I hate it. I hate Cena.
Me too. I hate that motherfucker. I'm like, you're not The Rock.
But I was not there, and now I'm looking back years later. I'm like, wow, he was on top for
a long. You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it.
And I respected him. Now he could be argued to be the GOAT. Especially with his acting career being so big too, so you could say he can be argued as being one of the GOATs of wrestling. Yeah. But back then I didn't like him.
Yeah,
Same thing with Superman.
I hated him.
Regardless of what anyone says, Superman's the GOAT. Closely followed by Spider-Man.
And actually, when I was younger, I had the comic where they fought Spider-Man and Superman. It was like when they did the large print books and shit. I had it. I'm like, man, I'm like, I never thought I would see that. I'm like, well, I'm like, isn't because back then I wasn't really like knowing like the two companies to like put their characters against each other. So when I seen that, I'm like,
yeah, that was huge.
I'm like, oh shit, this is huge. I'm like, oh shit, what the. So I had to grab it. I'm like, shit. I don't know what happened to it since I was a kid, but I know I don't have it no more. But
I mean, they kind of gave us the opposite matchup that we really wanted. We wanted Spider-Man and Batman.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. When I read it, I'm like, I guess they happened. You know. All right, we got. If you're the Batman,
and you know what? They did that because they didn't want their characters to look stupid. Yeah. Supposed to look stupid against. You know what I mean?
All right, like these two are kind of evenly matched. Like a lot of people may not like what happens. Like, so let's give it a little mishmash.
Yeah, like Batman beating Hulk is not supposed to happen.
Yeah,
everything is not supposed to happen. But Batman beating Hulk, in the grand scheme of things, makes sense.
Yeah, like
you know, Spider-Man not being able to touch Superman in the scheme of things makes sense. But if you put Hulk and Superman together, you're like, whoa, you really got
a big fight.
Yeah, a big fight.
All right. If you're the Batman, do you kill the Joker? Yes or no?
If I'm the Batman, do I kill the Joker? Yeah. If I'm the Batman, no, I don't kill the
Joker. Interesting. How would you?
Because I'm a crazy motherfucker.
I think
he's as crazy as the people there. He belongs in Arkham.
I told people that. I told people Batman is really the crazy one. I'm like, and I had like a story where I'm like, I know they never really give like the Joker's like his real name and shit like that. I had like in my mind I made this little story where I'm like, all right, what if they're secret? What if they're related? What if his dad stepped out?
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry, Deebo.
All right, cool. Go ahead. Where we left off at. All right. I know I left this question out last time and shit because I forget how to. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but Stormcaster or was it Jarjaborn? I forgot the X Jarjaborn.
Yeah,
I can never say that.
The J is Y.
Yarnborn. Okay, yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You just hit it. Okay. The J is a Y.
Yarnborn. Okay. All right. Stormcaster or Yarnborn?
I'm trying to remember who Stormcast. That's Stormcaster. That's Storm.
And
right?
the Storm. Yeah, I think that's Storm's Hammer. Yeah.
I will take Storm's Hammer.
Okay, that was pretty.
Storm's Hammer has the power to control elements. So
I liked that little twist they put on her, like they made her eligible for a hammer. I liked that little twist. I'm like, because I love
that too, and I love the fact that she got it back. And one of these X-Men, I don't know if it was X-Men Red or X-Men Blue.
I think it was Blue, and then she ended up using like all the power in the hammer and shit, and lost it again, some shit like that. But
she lost it again. Yeah, I think I remember it flying away.
Yeah, that was.
If I'm not mistaken. I have her with the hammers too. All her big horror appearances.
That's a pretty dope.
I also have the appearance of.
I'm about to say, I know you got it.
I got the appearance of hammers and alternate reality hammers and alternate reality Thors.
That's crazy. I'm gonna say, I know you got that one. All right, Darkseid or Galactus?
Darkseid or Galactus? Darkseid or as far as what? Character? I like Darkseid better.
Okay. See, the reason when I first
seen Darkseid better.
I liked it.
But Galactus stomp his ass.
Yeah, I would say, I seen you read that book. I read it too. I'm like, but as far as it was hard for me to get into with Darkseid because, like I said, I seen him as like because all I really seen was like his what you call them beams, the what's his beams called? Yeah, I'm like that's all you got. Like you're nothing but a stronger Cyclops. Like that's how I seen him. Like that's how I seen him. Like man, because every time I see him, like
the Juggernaut high beam.
I'm like, I'm like, you ain't nothing but a stronger. But because back then he wasn't as powerful as like he wasn't doing none of the shit he's doing there. Like, but I guess they had to rewrite him.
Deebo, my brother. Back then, he was actually powerful. He was like super powerful.
Oh, really?
He really was.
So
you gotta read him. Like, do you consider Loki super powerful? Like, do you consider do you consider Odin super powerful? Hela?
Yeah, I'm like, see, Loki was different. because Loki always I'm like, all right, because Loki was different because I always thought he was powerful because not in like a blasting type of way, but as far as the shit he can make people do, and like as far as like his magic, like he could fuck up the most like people on Thor's level, like he could control them and shit like that. Like that's what made him powerful. Not so much as the flashy shit. Like, but I guess each character has their own way of being powerful.
Let's take Serta, like Serta.
Oh, that's my guy. Yeah,
Serta is a force of nature. Have the ability to destroy galaxies to make a weapon. You know what I'm saying? And that's the level of the new gods.
Now was he always like that? Because I know like before, like was he always Darkseid? Like, was it always like he couldn't die, like because he's part of like the universe hierarchy and shit? Like was he always like that? Cause I don't think.
Well, they say he's. I would say he's probably more of like let me use an example of Asgard. He's more like a Hela.
Okay.
In the fact that Hela can sit there and say, she's an important aspect of
hierarchy,
the multiverse. She really is. She's death. You know what I mean? But she's an aspect of death on the godly plane.
Okay.
Then you got the deaths on the regular planes, and then you got real death.
The real shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Darkseid would be like a Hela or a Mephisto level, like to death. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he's like that. I would say probably Oblivion, like maybe more Oblivion. Okay. But he just wants darkness. So he's like the original that chick that was Avengers thing. But he really is an aspect. He's when people say they had his true form in the Final Crisis, in a way it was his true form, but in a way it made no sense that they used true form in that way as being all powerful. It was his true form because Darkseid's essence on a mortal plane is just what it is. It's an essence.
Okay.
Like when Onslaught killed Thor in the Onslaught saga. Mm-hmm. Thor's essence didn't go to Heroes Reborn. Thor's essence stayed floating between realities.
Okay.
And then it showed up in Heroes Reborn where Franklin created his own Thor. There were two Thors there. The real Thor, that's when essence was flowing.
And then when Franklin
remembers battling Onslaught. And then the Thor that was created. You know what I mean? A lot of people, again, they don't understand things like that.
Okay.
So Darkseid's essence fell from heaven into a mortal form. So yes, it was his true form.
Okay. All right, you need to look through something throughout the multiverse. Who you choosing, I-Boy or Heimdall?
I-Boy.
That's my guy.
Oh hell yeah, I-Boy is serious. I've been following I-Boy for a very long time. When I first found out that his mutant powers, that he has all these eyes that see, I knew eventually it was going to be one eye can see this, one eye can see that. He got eyes that see realities.
Yeah,
he got eyes that see time. Yeah, oh my god!
And that's crazy because when I first seen him, like I'm like, boo! Like I didn't even think that way. I'm like, all right, he just got eyes he can see, but like the way he is now, like how you saying, like each eye can see a different like spectrum or some shit. Like that's fucking awesome. Like and they making it weird. Like he combine like those eyes and like do like powerful shit. Like he's fucking dope, man. Like
bro. That crappy ass X-Men Age of X they did, remember?
Yeah.
Where Nate Grave, that was such crap. But anyway, I-Boy was in it, and I-Boy seeing that this was not the real reality.
Okay.
He was one that was always so crazy because he knew everything was wrong because one of his eyes
could see
it.
That's
you think about his processing speed too.
Because you got a million eyes.
All that information of all different types, man. To get into his head, a telepath his head probably explode.
That's crazy. That would be crazy because it would have to be like that because, like you said, each eye is simultaneously seeing different spectrums and shit like that. And it's shit that he's seen that no one else can see. Like you said, reality and shit like that. That's otherworldly. Like you said, his brain processing speed are.
You might how fucked up that thing is, though. Imagine like you having sex and shit. You see other shit that's gross. You gotta close your mind.
Like, but why's your eye and your back closed? You don't want to know what that eye's looking at. Imagine being his girlfriend trying to cheat. Like, like you can never cheat this dude. Like, yeah. Like, what was you at last night? What were you at last night? I was with Tyrone. I was at the movie. No, you was with Tyrone. I see you.
You can't lie. You can't lie.
Oh shit! All right. We got Lockjaw or Crypto.
My favorite character or in the fight?
As far as character wise, who's a better character?
Character wise, I actually like Lockjaw.
I fuck with him. I'm like,
I like the fact that he's an Inhuman.
I know it was like a time where I seen like he actually talked. Like, did that like a recurrent? I know I seen it like one time. Like, is that something that ever got brought up again? I know you follow more closely than me.
Nah, he talked. He talked, and people say it was never proved. That people say that it was people playing a prank on the thing.
I'm like, but
it wasn't shown to be played as a prank. So I say he did talk, and he's always been. He's never really been a dog. That's the Terrigen effect on him made him like that.
Really? So he had a different form. Yeah. Like, I thought
he was an Inhuman, and his Terrigen transformed him into the.
Wow, I learned something new.
It trains you into different things. Some people turn into monsters, grotesque.
Yeah, but from my understanding, like I always seen him in like dog form. I never knew like.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I think he's been on Asgard. He's actually been chilling on Asgard nonstop.
Oh, really? I'm like, well, he could go anywhere he wants.
He's been chilling with Thor.
I'm like, he can go anywhere he wants and shit.
The latest Thor comics, Lockjaw's been in Asgard with Thor.
The last book I read with Lockjaw was I think it was the one where they like all the different animals and shit. Him, Throg and shit. They were like, I guess like teamed up or some shit.
Avengers.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
They just came back. They just came back last issue in Thor.
Did he die or did I see him like he got Throg? Was it didn't in the Blake joint? Didn't Blake fuck him up or some shit like that?
Nah, Blake swallowed Throg. He put Throg in his mouth.
Yeah, it was something like that. You know? He bust out and shit. Yeah.
The fucking hammer came flying out.
Yeah, I remember that part. I'm like, that was pretty fucking hot. I'm like,
shit.
I just like they included him in that story because like, all right. I mean, even though he's a frog, he's still, part of it. I mean, one wouldn't guess Donald Blake would go after him, but shit, it was just that was part of the
point. You don't want to stop him. You know what I mean? You don't want to stop him. He's going casually killing all these Thors, and then he fights a frog.
And that shit was funny. I'm like, man.
The cool thing about that is that actual story arc proved what I've been saying for years about Thor and his essences.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These are all only pieces of Thor that are always Thor right now. I think Cage is making him whole. You know, making him complete. You know what I mean? You got Donald Blake coming back to his mortal form. Then you got all the little pieces that Odin, Hood, and all these other people he collected. You know, Blake collected on the DL. People don't realize that's what he did. He was collecting.
Okay, I figured that's me doing something like that because it wasn't
essence. So in order for Thor to really see, everybody's waiting for Thor to become this Odin level. Oh, galaxies move out of my way because I'm Thor. He don't have the wisdom yet. Okay. All Thor uses the Odin power with is for strength. The boost his strength and the boost his lightning. It seems to be, and his durability.
Okay.
He hasn't used the Odin Force, and he don't know how to use the Odin Force. He's not he has basic knowledge of the runes. He has nothing. You know, all he got is this extremely powerful force inside of him that he don't even know how to use.
He's still wet behind the ears.
Yeah, he don't even know how to use, yo.
Last one.
Can't find me. Fuck out of here. What kind of shit is that?
All right. Last one. What's the better movie? Spider-Man 3 or Green Lantern?
Green Lantern, all the way.
I don't know why people didn't like that. I actually liked that movie. Green Lantern, I'm not a
fan of Spider-Man, period. I really don't like, the character. Green Lantern, I like Green Lantern.
I was mad they didn't follow up because I mean they set it up for Sinestro and all that shit. I'm like, but I mean, Spider-Man.
Badass. I like Green Lantern. That Green Lantern movie was good. Again, maybe people didn't like the
CGI.
I never see Hal Jordan as a comedy guy like that either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I guess
I never read when I read a Hal Jordan book. I always seen him as a straightforward, no nonsense Air Force pilot. You know what I mean? If anything, he could have been played like Top Gun, like the other guy from Top Gun.
Goose.
The bad guy, Iceman.
Iceman,
Iceman. Like Iceman, like Val Kilmer, like that guy.
Like
a very serious Air Force pilot. Yeah, got the haircut. That's the way I always picture when you read comics, picture people's in your brain. Yeah. I didn't picture Deadpool.
He played a lot of fucking characters. That's crazy. Like he put in both sides.
All right. I like that he pulled the Hal Jordan.
Yeah. All right.
The credits.
To wrap this up, you got anything you want to plug to let people know what's happening, anything upcoming?
What's happening? Well, my son's music, Lazy, and Instagram is exactly the way you see it. I also got posted up on my thing. He's performing. He got 3 dates, a couple in Elizabeth and one in Brooklyn.
Okay.
You can go check that out on his Instagram. It's Lazy. You can also, like I said, I got the postings up. And I'm also starting to I get tons of DMs about my Thor collection. Like, literally, people bother me all day about different things about Thor. So, but one of my biggest ones is what Thor comics do I actually have? You know what I mean? I keep on saying I have this.
Just say all of them.
Yeah, right? But people don't believe that now, this camera age. It's like bullshit to them.
Hey, bullshit, let me see.
I'm gonna start going through. My son got me the camera. I got it up there. I'm gonna start filming videos of me going through my collection.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Talk about in each art, stuff like that. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's not something that's gonna happen tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to it. So I might be going live sometimes, and when you see me go live, a lot of times I'm going live just to get that footage for it, and then I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be popping up live here and there now and then. So you can jump on if you want. I appreciate it. Talk a little bit.
No doubt.
That's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. And also, I want to plug Race Kid Clothing Line, Darry Kennedy, my boy over in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's stuck in the comic world.
Funny, right? I can't even say it now. Darry Kennedy, Race Kid, plug.
Shit.
I said Guardians of the Galaxy. I just lost my all-father card.
Shit. Well, that's what's up. I got him coming up later on. I got him actually tomorrow, so I'll let him know you shouted them out. I'm definitely going to ask him about it. But yeah, I want to thank Raphael Spector. He the one that did the intro video that y'all going to see. I want to thank my producer, Max Uno, the Black Mage. He the one that did the song you hear in the intro. And I want to thank you for taking the time out to sit here and rap with me. And all the folks that's going to tune in and check this out.
Oh, I hope you can tune in. This is over with already. Holy shit. It went super fast.
Shit. It's 2:30.
Man, it's 2 hours. I told you before, I really have no life. So I would have been like 10 o'clock tonight, I would have been talking shit.
But yeah, that's it, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna hit the editing tonight.
No problem.
I'm gonna try to have it ready for Monday, so everybody be on the lookout. Appreciate it, man.
All right, sweet. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your comic books. Remember, collecting is the way to go.
Definitely.
Collecting. You don't buy,
you don't get.
They don't make. They don't make. If you don't buy, they don't make. Pretty simple.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys. Remember, he's the man right here. Don't forget.
Stan Lee, no doubt.